AM1450, FM 1033, KNSI's Ox in the afternoon. It's opening day here at the state legislature in St. Paul. And we have a very special guest with us, State Representative Jeff Howe from the Rockville area, representing Rockville, Paynesville, St. Joe, Cold Spring. Did I miss anything?
Kimball.
Oh, Kimball, of course. Yeah. Okay. Luxembourg?
And a few townships.
All right. Very good.
I don't get Luxembourg. I tell you, Tama gets that.
All right. That's Representative
Theis.
All right. And she's invited, too. She might stop down and see us here in a second. But Representative Howe, okay, first of all, opening day, what do you see happening today?
Well, I think today, I think possibly we could see a bill come up. We'll probably suspend the rules to bring up real ID and actually repeal the law that prohibits the MnDOT from working on getting us numbers and that type of thing, so we can actually move forward and have them give us what the possibilities are for getting a compliant driver's license with real ID.
Right away here off the bat, huh? Well, this is one of those the items that was possibly going to trigger a special session.
Right. And I think the reason we're going to do that is that way by the end of March, hopefully MnDOT can come back with some numbers and some guidance on what we probably need to do and what the different costs are going to be. So I think this is the first step to get an idea of what the costs are going to be and how that's going to work.
Yeah, okay. And is this something that's going to take all session? Or, I mean, could you hammer this thing out here in a week or two and have closure for us all?
Well, once we get the numbers, I think we could get closure with this thing. But
okay.
There's some contested ideas on whether we should have everyone get a real ID or whether we can continue with the current two-track kind of system that we have, a regular ID, a regular driver's license now and an enhanced or
so we can get these real IDs we're finding out now that some people aren't able to get onto some military bases or some federal thing that they're going to quit recognizing them at the TSA. And
we have that problem with police departments right now. I know that some of the St. Cloud PD went out to do some training, and if they wouldn't have had their passports, they wouldn't have got on the federal facility.
Oh, my gosh. Are you kidding me?
No. So it was just lucky they all had passports, so they were able to get on the federal facility to get training.
Oh, my gosh. Okay, so this is actually happening. The other thing is then you mentioned the two-tier system that we have right now. You can get an enhanced ID in Minnesota that will take care of it, as I understand.
Correct. Yeah, I mean, you could – well, and it helps. It's
like
not it's not completely compliant with real ID, but it's close enough. It wouldn't take a whole lot. But I'm concerned about the cost of the two systems and how to make that happen. I think the other idea that we have, the other thing we need to do is that'll come up right away is the unemployment extension for the minors, and so there's some stuff that we're going to do with unemployment and the unemployment premiums. I think there'll be a movement right away to do something with that right away today.
Okay, fellas, Jim Newberger has just stopped in, State Representative Jim Newberger from District 15B, down just up the road from 14, shall we say. And so, Representative Newberger, I'm glad this came up because, we were talking about Real ID a moment ago and also about this unemployment deal going on up in northern Minnesota. Let me just tee something up and let you guys kind of discuss it in a kind of a roundtable fashion, if you would.
Well, Jeff Howe is always right. So.
Very good.
We do
Yes,
share.
sir.
We actually bump up one against one another up there. Where our lines adjoin over there in Clearwater.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Well, so you're neighbors.
Yeah, we
are.
Very good. You going to build a fence or anything like that?
Absolutely. No,
Maybe a minefield.
Maybe a bridge.
Oh,
See, it's the beginning of
maybe a bar on the bridge.
there you go.
It's even better. Have a summer festival. But hey, look, one of the things that I've been looking at and talking to some of you folks about, now there's talk, this unemployment fund, if you will, in Minnesota is full, right?
It's flush.
Okay,
Yes.
So it's full. And now we have more people up north because the government won't let them expand their mining and all that sort of thing, still without jobs. So the idea is, okay, let's give them a bunch of money because they can't work because we're not letting them work because we're not letting them expand. And just stop me anytime that if I'm wrong on this one. Because we have all this money in this fund, and then at the same time, in order to get some sort of a give and take, the deal is to reduce the unemployment tax that everybody else is paying, thus depleting the fund from both ends so that the next legislative session can come in and now fix that problem. Am I missing something?
Well, I think when you call it a tax, it's not truly a tax. It's a premium. It's an insurance premium. And
Sure,
okay. It's unemployment insurance, and really they only want to take it down to a reasonable level. And keep in mind, this has been done before, even when it was at a lower level. So this isn't unprecedented.
Right. And the other thing to jump on this as well is that this is not the first time that this has been introduced. To my knowledge, I believe it was Representative Joe Radinovich authored a same or similar bill. I believe it was in 2013. So this has been a bipartisan approach for a while now. So this is not just a Republican kind of thing. Mm-hmm. The dynamic on the Iron Range is unique. Mining is the economy. You can't, if you pull the plug on mining, you pull the plug on the entire Iron Range, on all of the Arrowhead area. That is a dynamic that we have to keep into consideration. The people that are up there, do they need help? Absolutely. Should we help them? I think personally that we should.
Should or shouldn't?
We should.
Okay.
Because of the dynamic that's up there.
In the form of unemployment right now?
At this time, yes.
Okay.
But I also think that what we need to do is, instead of just handing out unemployment, we need to fix the problem instead of the symptoms. The problem is that we need to ignite the economy up there. And how do we do that? We allow PolyMet to expand and get their operation up and running. We stop this clean power plan that the Obama and Dayton administration has implemented, that's pulling the plug on power plants and is driving up the cost of energy. And also we allow these pipelines to get built. If we do those things, we're going to jumpstart an economy. They're going to have way more jobs than people. And all of this unemployment issues and the benefits and everything that goes along with it won't be a consideration, because it'll be like North Dakota. There won't be enough people to fill the jobs. It'll be that good.
Wouldn't that be wonderful?
Yes.
Wouldn't that be the deal?
And we have Representative Jeff Howe, Representative Jim Newberger, Representative Tama Theis has just sauntered in with her Falcon National Bank KNSI business profile mug. Wonderful. Glad to see that. You were the first one to get one, I think, Representative Theis. So thanks for coming over. Tell you what, let's hear Jim take this one. We're gonna expand the microphone offerings here. Hold on. Let me pull this one off of here. We'll go back to our original plan, Jeff. Jeff and I were setting this up earlier today.
I don't know how much I had to do with it. I was just kind of playing along, going, Yeah. Wouldn't it be better if you color-coded these things?
Okay, now we've got it. I think we're all plugged in. Tama, welcome.
Welcome. Thank you. It's nice to have you down here on our first day.
How about this? Can you believe it's March 8th already?
Oh, yeah. I think everyone can say they've been so busy. It's almost like I might as well be here.
Yeah.
Let's get it done.
Yeah, well, good point. Right. Okay. And Jim Knobloch gave me a great outside-the-box. Oh, no. This might be airing tomorrow.
Okay.
Oh, if it's airing today, great. If it's airing tomorrow, I'm going to give it away, but that's okay. Basically, that the one nice thing about the legislative session starting today is there's one problem now we no longer face in the state of Minnesota, and that is whether or not to have a special session.
Exactly.
By definition, that now is one problem solved, so you guys are 1 for 1 so far.
Yay.
Good work. But yeah, we're talking about this, and Tama, you caught kind of the tail end of that, this idea in northern Minnesota that the government is stonewalling these employment opportunities up there every step of the way. Now the people up there are unemployed. So what do you do? Is this a temporary fix? You know, can you do this unemployment thing? And maybe this is a question for Jim too, as you kind of brought that up. Can you give the temporary unemployment benefit extension, whatever, with the agreement that but before we're going to vote yes on this, we want assurances that they're actually going to approve PolyMet and some of these other things up there.
What we would like to see is that these operations go into business and start hiring people yesterday. That's what we would like to see. The biggest hurdle that we have is the environmental movement and the strength that they have right now in St. Paul. Will that be part of the negotiations? Boy, I sure hope it is. Is it at this time? No.
I mean, you've got a whole area up there that's just screaming for more jobs. And if we keep extending benefits, why would we do that if there's no hope that they'll ever have the jobs up there again? Then maybe we do a better service by saying, okay, we're done. Mm-hmm. You know, you just need to find other employment. And that's what, and in some of these other things, I mean, a lot of my builder friends will say, well, that's kind of what we were told when the recession hit and housing was having a bad market. It was basically, it really stinks to be you. and a lot of our folks went to North Dakota. Now we have a shortage in our area.
Mm-hmm.
So I think rather than waiting forever and then all of a sudden we do decide that polymet and is going to happen and there's nobody up there to work anymore. I mean, you kind of got to look at it that way too. That we can't just keep running it around or we're not going to have people.
Representative Theis hit it right on the head there. We have, the current labor force up there is very highly skilled, very highly experienced, very highly trained. And how long will these people remain in that area when they can no longer feed their families? If they leave, then it's going to cost us more money to bring those types of people back. We have the workforce there that's able to do the job. Let's get them some jobs.
Yeah.
And we have the resources to put them to work. And I understand that, I think every one of us will say we understand environmentalist concerns. We're concerned too. We don't want them to muck it up. But I think there's a good balance between what they're saying and some of the misinformation that's out there.
Muck it up. Is that,
Well,
that's a Jeff Howe term.
okay.
All right, I'll take that term, but I tell you what, it's probably what would happen if we don't get it right. We would end up with a big muck.
That's the
problem.
gas tank on Howe's lawnmower.
I'll embrace the muck term. I'm not, throw it my way, I guess.
I wasn't going to throw it on you. It's just I sit by you too much.
All right. Mr. and Mrs. Muck and Fuss, Mrs. Fussmucker.
That's the stuff on the bottom of his coffee cup.
AM 1450, FM 1033, KNSI's Ox in the afternoon. We're live at the state capitol in St. Paul, opening day. I know you guys have a very busy schedule. State Representative Theis, State Representative Jim Newberger, State Representative Jeff Howe with us. A couple of quick things to talk about. The tax bill, the big one that just didn't quite make it over the hurdle last time around. Any predictions? What's going to happen?
I think it's going to be tough. I think it's going to be tough to get the Democrats to agree on the Social Security exemption.
Yep.
I hope we can get the veteran exemption.
To stop taxing Social Security premiums. Or not premiums, but payoff.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
To keep seniors here. So
Keep seniors here, in a 5-year program to reduce it 20% a year.
Why would that be tough?
Because I think we've heard Bach say that's too costly.
Senate Democrat Majority Leader Tom Bach.
Check.
Correct.
It'll cost us too much on the general fund.
Because they needed their office building for the senators. So
137 million, up from the predictions of 90. I tell you.
Saw it coming
Right.
in. Looks nice, by the way.
It is.
Right.
Anything else on the tax bill? Tama?
I can't say enough about the Social Security part of it. We've heard it so many times, and I've talked to seniors who I thought were probably in a pretty good place, saying basically, I can hardly make it from month to month. And it's just really knocked my socks off. I would have never expected those folks to make those claims.
Jim?
Personally, I agree with Jeff and Tama, and I think that the tax bill is going to be an interesting food fight. If you want to come down and watch the legislature, it's better than wrestling. Come down and watch the tax debate.
Transportation bill comments? Anything on that one, Jeff? You were you were on the conference committee.
I'm on the conference committee. I think we're going to get this thing done. There's going to be a little give and take. I don't believe we're going to have a gas tax. I don't believe that'll be part of the mix. The sales tax will be part of the mix.
All right.
I don't see, and people are going to hang me out to dry, but I'm going to throw it on the table. I don't see North Star going to St. Cloud this year.
Not this year.
Good.
No.
Okay, very good. Hey, that comes through your district, though, doesn't it, Jim?
I've always opposed the North Star rail. I've gotten beat up over time over this, and that's all right. At the end of the day, you can take all of the arguments about North Star, the cost. In some cases, it's 2/3 of the cost of a ride is subsidized by taxpayers. There's a safety component as well. But at the end of the day, you can take all of your talking points and set them aside and just concentrate on one thing and one thing alone. And this is what I ask everybody when this comes up. I say this is who administrates, who is the one that is in charge of the North Star line? It's the Met Council, period. And the next question is this: do you want the Met Council having influence in Sherburne County? Do you want them having influence in Stearns County? Because if you bring in the North Star, you're bringing in the Met Council. That is a dynamic that the voters in my district don't want, and I certainly don't want.
Yeah, and the voters in St. Cloud don't have any idea what that means.
And keep in mind,
it's an education curve.
I would like to see North Star come to St. Cloud, but I'm talking about the same dollar that's going to add a third lane to 94 and the same dollar that's going to provide more rural transit to keep my seniors out in their homes so they can get their groceries and their medical appointments. So we're talking about the same dollar. There's not more dollars there. We're talking about the same dollar that's going to do multiple things. And right now you can get on a bus and use the train. And I've done it. I did it for a year, so I know what I'm talking about.
And I'm a strong proponent of the bus system. I think that pound for pound, dollar for dollar, that a bus transit system is much better than a rail transit system. But suffice to say, at the end of the day, I think that we have bigger fish to fry. We have greater problems, and bringing in an enormously expensive long-term commitment that's called North Star that also drags in the Met Council is something that we really don't we don't have time to really hash this out. Let's fix the problems of the state. North Star is just a goodie that some people would really like to promote and push through this session.
Yeah.
And I think each one of us would say that, number one, we haven't seen any numbers. I mean, you've got to show me some numbers. If you want it to happen, we got to see numbers, data
really?
about what we'd have no clue what we're talking for costs. We have no clue what ridership would be expected. We have no clue how it would affect the schedule.
Okay.
We just don't have a clue about any of this. And if you want us to do it, then, then that dialogue needs to happen. And Representative Howe asked the other day in bonding of the person, was it the Department of Transportation?
Yes.
Was this in the governor's proposal for bonding? No, it's not. It's not on anybody else's radar. We need to have some information.
Okay.
We can't just go in and say we need it.
Keep in mind, there's 5
information.
different locations proposed for the station. So there you go.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Gotcha.
And at the end of the day, those people can still get on a North Star bus and access the North Star transit system. It's not like they don't have transportation. It's there.
But I do want to make a comment about Met Council. I mean, we in St. Cloud, I think, either don't know about it or think it's not going to affect us, but it does, because it actually did slow down the third lane to St. Cloud.
Oh, how big of a triumph was it to have that bridge over the Crow River?
It was a huge one.
To get us now out of the
Met Council was
really ticked. We don't have to worry about the Met Council now for the rest of the way.
But they still have input. Yeah. And that is a big deal.
All right.
The Met Council is the largest unelected body that we have in the state, to my knowledge, and they have their operating budget. The last time that I saw it was $750 million. They also have the authority to tax. They also have
horrifying.
It is,
yes.
And they also have a history of taking individuals, entities, and agencies to court. This is, in my opinion, the Met Council is government gone wild, and I don't want them in Sherburne County. I don't want them in Benton County, and I sure as heck don't want them in Stearns County.
That's a show on its own.
Yes, it is.
And will be multiple shows, actually. I think it's time we really start exposing the Met Council. I feel like Marty Seifert running for governor really gave that a shot. If he'd have gotten elected governor, even gotten the nod in the end, during the campaign, I think we would have learned a lot more about Met Council. But quickly, yes or no, Sunday liquor sales? Yes, going to pass?
I'm still a no, but I really don't think we're going to bring it up this year.
Jim?
I don't think it's coming up.
Jeff?
I hope it's not coming up. That's a tough decision for me, folks. And I tell you what, I got to go watch.
I got to go too. Thank you. Thanks for your time. Sorry, I've kept you too long. That's all I wanted to ask. Thanks, fellas. Have a great opening day. And we'll be chatting throughout the next 14 weeks, 13 weeks, 12 weeks.
10.
8 weeks, 10 weeks?
I think it's 10, Dan.
The May 20, however long it takes to get to May 23rd. That's how long we've got.
I thought it was the 16th.
Is it
it's the 23rd.
I think it's the 23rd. Sorry, you better make your hotel reservations for an extra week. Tama, Theis, District 14A, Jeff Howe, District 13A, Jim Newberger, District 15B. Our guests here as we're kicking off the legislative session. Yeah, live at the state capitol in St. Paul on AM 1450, FM 1033, KNSI's Ox in the afternoon. More to come.